What is up, guys? James here from the Lattes YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Sagittarius sun sign friends. If you're born between the dates of November 22nd and December 21st, then you are a Sagittarian sun sign, and this video is for you. Today we're going to be doing the month ahead look for the month of October. Can you believe it's October already? Oh my goodness, it's crazy. But it is, so they tell me. So we got to look at the month of October, and this reading is designed to give you the leg up, to let you know how you can make October the best month possible. Before I get too far into this, I do want to say that this is a general reading for a large group of people. In fact, 1/12 of the population, so not everything is going to resonate with everyone. Take what works for you, discard the rest. If you would like a personal reading where I tap into your energies, then you can head on over to my website, lightofriga.com. The link is in the description box below. So we're doing something a little bit differently for this reading. I keep tweaking the month ahead readings. I'm a tweaker and a twerker, so I'm trying to find a better reading, one that's more concise yet still gives all the information. So let me know in the comment section how you feel about this spread, and we'll see how this impacts you. So we're going to be using the Robin Wood Tarot, the Mortem Oraculum, and the Untamed Truth Oracle, which is off screen at the moment. We will look at that later. So let's get into this. First card we're going to look at is this one, and it represents what you'll be moving away from this October, Sagittarian friends. And I got the Three of Cups. Socialization is the word I'm getting. It seems like perhaps for a lot of you in the past few weeks, maybe the past month, you've been socializing with a lot of people. Maybe not necessarily on a personal level. Maybe you've been socializing a lot with people at work, or maybe with strangers. You've been talking to a lot of people. Maybe you've been called into a lot of meetings, just spending a lot of time with a lot of different people. But this could also mean socializing on a personal level. You're spending time with friends, spending time with family, and just making emotional connections. So I feel as though that this has been going on recently, but you might be moving away from this coming in October, and you might be headed towards a new energy, and we'll see what that is in a moment. But yeah, I feel as though maybe October it seems like it's headed towards maybe more going into the self, spending more time with yourself and learning about the self. Although I can't say for sure until I see this card, but that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting, that you're moving away from. And this, this could also be dependence on other people. Maybe some of you have been using other people to make you feel better. Let's be honest about it. It's okay. That could be what this card is saying as well. Maybe you're in a funk, and you have a friend who's always happy, so you spend some time with that friend, and it's not always a fair exchange. If you're bringing depression to the table and they're bringing excitement, they're gonna lose. But I don't know. I don't know. So figure out what this card means for you. So it's hard to say in these general readings specifically exactly what it means for you, but listen to what I said and look at the image and see if any of that resonates. And that is what you will be moving away from this October. So let's check out what you'll be moving towards. This card represents what you're headed towards this October, my Sagittarian friends. And we've got the Queen of Swords. Just a minute here. The Queen of Swords is someone who's expressive, yet at the same time, well, not at the same time, but they're someone who's very expressive, concerned about the self, gets what she wants, and is sort of a little bit more self-consumed, is the feeling that I'm getting from this card. And that kind of goes in with what I was saying. I think October is going to be a month for you to be more involved in the self, and there's positives and negatives to this energy. So it's not all fun and games, but it's not all doom and gloom either. The feeling I get from this is that you're going to be more concerned about you and your thoughts, and That's important. That's good because you need to do some healing. Absolutely, you need to do some. We all need to do some healing. Okay, so the only way you're going to really do healing is by going into the self, by spending more time with the self. But the problem here, the negative side, is this does have some egoic connotations. This is more about being in the ego, and I'm not saying that's bad for you, but looking at the population of the Earth as a whole, the vast majority are too far into their ego. And so odds dictate that you too may be too far into your ego. So that's kind of the bad part about this, is that you go into the self and your ego starts telling you things, right? It could be positive, like, oh, you're better than other people. I shouldn't say positive, but you're smarter than other people. You're more successful than other people, so you're better than them. Or it could be negative, where oh, that person's better than you. They got more money. They're more successful. They're happier. You're not as good as them. So the ego is full of extremes, okay, and none of it is true. And so that's kind of the negative aspect of this. So it's very important that you control that ego this month. I would suggest, Sagittarian friends, and make sure that if you're going into the self, you're not exploring the ego as much as what you should be exploring, which is your emotions, which is your shadow, which is your intuition, right? All right, let's go to this card, which represents your biggest challenge that you're likely to face this month, Sagittarian friends. And we've got a bat with initiation. Huh. Yeah, I'm getting selfishness. The word initiation is not really hitting for me. I'm getting more of the bat energy. When we think of vampire bats, we think of people who are not people, but they're not people. We think of a bat, right? You think of something that hides in its cave and comes out when it suits him, and it's kind of self-centered. They don't really have a community organization. Every bat's out for themselves. Well, they do fly in groups and they stay in groups. I realize that, but the feeling I'm getting is that a bat is kind of it exists in darkness. And I get the feeling here that your shadow side, your negative side, is really going to be flaring up this month and trying to get you to stay in the darkness. Try to get you to stay in the cave, metaphorically speaking. And so I think that's going to be your challenge, is fighting against, or not fighting, but working through this dark side that wants you to stay in darkness, that your ego contributes to it by saying things like, you're not as good as him, right? What I'm talking about. So I think your biggest challenge is going to be yourself, and I think it's going to be your shadow aspect, and I think it's going to be trying to hold you back from really discovering something about yourself that's going to promote healing and change. I think your shadow side wants to prevent you from healing and change, and I think that's what it's going to do. It's going to try to mire you in the darkness and bring you back into the darkness as much as it can. So be aware of that, and as you move through October, realize that we all have a shadow side, and our shadow side isn't doing us any favors. Well, that's not true. It actually does us the biggest favor, which is show us which direction we don't want to go in. But as far as your practical everyday life, keep your shadow out of it as much as possible, since I do feel as though this month is going to be a month for you to go inward. We don't want to get bogged down in the shadow. We want to learn from the shadow and then release it. Okay? All right, board wipe. Bloop. Now we're going to move on to the Untamed Truth Oracle, and I'm going to ask it what message it has for Sagittarian sun signs this October. What message for Sagittarius sun signs this October? Oh, the whole deck wanted to be cut. You don't want to show your message? All right, we got go. And I'm already seeing a stark contrast, First we had the bat, and it was living in darkness, right? And it lives in its cave, and it's concerned only about itself. And but now we've got some fiery energy here. We've got the word go with some geese, and thinking of maybe the opposite of a bat is maybe a beautiful bird. not the opposite, but kind of the opposite, but in the same vein. I guess the opposite of a bats would be a whale. But, we're talking about flyers, okay? And I think the geese are... I think the message here... Let's get down to the message. I'm rambling. The message here is that at any point, you can turn that darkness into light. At any point. You have the power to transmute through your thoughts, through your emotions, through your actions. You can change negativity into positivity if you want. It's going to take some fiery energy. You're going to have to do some work. Okay, it's not just like, oh, I'm now positive. You're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to get active, but you can transmute that negativity. So if you feel sometime in October just inundated with just some dark thoughts or some dark feelings, I really want you to remember this card here and see the geese changing. Change is a possibility. Change is not a possibility. It's an inevitability. At some point, if you're getting caught in this negative energy spiral, at some point you're going to hit the bottom and say, enough is enough. I don't want to do this anymore. And there's always a bottom, but you don't have to reach the bottom. You can consciously decide that now is enough. Okay, and I'm going to start transmuting this negative energy into positivity. I'm going to start being more active and following my intuition. That's probably one of the biggest things you can do. Your intuition is guiding you towards the light. And all you have to do is follow it, and you leave the darkness behind. And so it's very important to follow your intuition this month. It's very important to be cognizant and recognize your shadow side. It's very important to be aware of your ego and what it's saying to you. But most importantly, it's important for you to take all those things this month and use them to transmute any darkness inside of you into light as much as you possibly can. October is like a dark month. We got a Halloween where they're talking about vampire bats. Okay? And so, the dark energies are kind of all around this month. They're swirling, but you have the light within you and you can transmute them. All right, Sagittarian friends, that's the reading for this month. I hope you guys got something out of it. Again, not a reading for everybody, so take what works for you, leave the rest. And again, if you want personal reading with me, lightofriga.com, link in the description box below. Be sure to do all the YouTube stuff, the liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I really do appreciate all their interaction on your channel, on this channel. That's why I do it. I don't get money from this, so I really appreciate your interaction. I really appreciate you commenting and liking and sharing and all that. So thank you so much for that. And that is it. I want to wish you love and light, Sagittarian friends. I want to wish you a happy and prosperous October. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.